What up, YouTube? It's your boy Big Cool coming to you from Colossal Boxing Talk, and I am back with another video. Do not expect Billy Joe Saunders to face Daniel Jacobs in April or at any point in 2018 unless there are major concessions made on the part of Team Jacobs. Saunders is coming off of his best victory as a pro against David Lemieux, the former IBF middleweight champion. This past weekend, Saunders traveled to Canada in David Lemieux's home country, beat his ass from pillar to post. He was too slick, too elusive, hurt Lemieux a few times throughout that fight, made it look relatively easy, and now the boisterous, already highly confident Saunders is back at talking a lot of shit. A lot of people don't like Saunders because they feel he talks more than he fights. But for right now, we got to give him credit where credit is due. He did finally face a credible opponent after, since beating, Andy Lee for the title a few years ago. He did finally face a credible opponent, so we got to give him his credit, let him do his shit talking right now. Obviously, Frank Warren and Billy Joe Saunders aren't interested in matching up with Daniel Jacobs. Jacobs is a very good fighter. In my opinion, he beat Gennady Golovkin last November, or last March, excuse me, when they fought. He lost a close decision. But Jacobs can box, he can punch, he's fast, he can fight out of either the orthodox or the southpaw stance. He's supremely confident, coming off of a fight in which a lot of people thought he won against Gennady Golovkin. He followed it up with a unanimous decision victory over Louis Aris in his last fight last November or last month on HBO. He recently signed I think a 3 or 4 fight deal with HBO. His new promoter is Eddie Hearn. He's still managed or advised by Al Heyman. So, he has a lot of big power players in his corner that is going to get him, great opportunities. But as far as Saunders, he's eyeing, a move up to 168 for April. And we know when you say 168, he's not going up there for David Benavidez or anybody else. He's going up there for Caleb Truex, who defeated James DeGale in the upset last weekend as well. And shout out to my guys from Three Kings Boxing, C-Bone Henderson, the man that y'all need to go to when y'all want to, find out the legitimate, correct boxing news. He wrote an article, published it yesterday on 3kingsboxing.com. Make sure to go check them out. Subscribe to their channel, like their Facebook page, and just check the website daily for your daily boxing news. But I'm gonna read the quote that my boy C-Bone Henderson posted or put in his article from Billy Joe Saunders about options to move up to 168. He said, I've got the option to move up in weight, and there are some big fights there. I would love to fight Truex, obviously, who beat DeGale. I'd be happy to take him in April if he was willing to come over. As long as I could keep my middleweight belt, I'd move up and win that IBF belt at super middleweight too. To go there and take it off James DeGale, fair play to Truex. It shows that in boxing anything can happen. When you're fighting someone who is coming for that title, who is coming from America, where he lives in a shed somewhere, that title is his big ticket. See, this is the shit right there to make people not like Saunders, saying that, Truex stays in the shed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he's wrong, but I'm not surprised that he's going to be trying to target Truex. Truex is the weakest champion at 168. I don't expect him to have that title long. But if he did, decide to take the fight with Saunders, it would be, I'm pretty sure he's gonna make a good, good payday, from it. And I wouldn't say he can't beat, Saunders, but Saunders is very slick, very elusive. He's a southpaw. He's very awkward. So that poses a threat in himself. And also going over there to the UK, even though he got a decision over a guy who I look at as a bigger name in the UK and James DeGale. You know what I'm saying? He could possibly get another decision over there in the UK. But the shit with Billy Joe Saunders kind of reminds me of, if y'all familiar, I'm a big horror movie fan. And Jeepers Creepers, the motherfucker comes out every 23 years And that's how it is with Billy Joe Saunders. He fights a motherfucking quality opponent every 23 months. So I'm not surprised that, Frank Warren and Billy Joe Saunders are, kind of saying, you know what, Daniel Jacobs, you're a good fighter. You had a close fight with Gennady Golovkin, but you don't bring nothing to the table. He's a high risk, low reward type fight. Everybody that always try to avoid somebody go to, well, he's not selling out tickets. He can't sell out his arena in his home state. Blase. And maybe that shit is true to an extent, but still, when are we going to get these fighters with the mindset of, I want to fight the best, I want to beat the best, or the win, lose, or draw? You know what I'm saying? I want to test my skills against a guy that a lot of people feel that is on my level, or shit, probably better than me. I want to shock them. I want to prove that I can not only beat David Lemieux, but I can also beat Daniel Jacobs, that I can beat Canelo Alvarez, that I can beat Gennady Golovkin, and so forth and so on. But I'm not surprised at all, because Billy Joe Saunders, this is what you expect. His last credible opponent was Andy Lee, where he dropped him in that fight and won a majority decision, I believe. Correct me, y'all, in the comments below if I'm wrong about if that was a majority decision victory or a split decision. But and he was supposed to fight Avondale Kershaw, but he got caught up on those RICO charges. He fought Willie Monroe. Willie Monroe is a good fighter, but Willie Monroe, if you watch that fight, obviously didn't come to fight. And that was his perfect opportunity to, snatch that title off of Billy Joe Saunders, who had been inactive, obviously was rusty if you go back and watch that fight. And now, he's kind of in a rhythm now, and he doesn't want to continue to challenge himself. Daniel Jacobs will be a perfect fight, whether it's in New York or the UK. Make the fight happen. I'm pretty sure that Daniel Jacobs is willing to make some concessions to get that fight. He wants to become a champion again. He was the, former WBA champion, lost that title to Gennady Golovkin, or he was a regular. You know how they got the regular, intermediate, and all that kind of shit. But like I said, he was a former middleweight champion. His stock is at an all-time high. And the middleweight division has got a lot of life pumped back into it, man, because you got Jamal Charlo, who moved up from 154 to 160, who is fighting for the interim WBC title against I forget the guy's name, early next year. And you got Daniel Jacobs, aforementioned Canelo Alvarez, and Gennady Golovkin, who will be facing each other in a rematch upcoming in May. So I feel that there's no need to regress and fight Caleb Truex, unless, I wouldn't be too critical of this fight, because, like I said, he's going up there to try to win, a belt at 168, be a two-division, belt, title holder. So I can't get mad at that, but let's call it for what it is, man. You don't want to fight Daniel Jacobs because he poses way more of a threat than David Lemieux could ever do. This guy can box, can punch, athletic, and fast. So, of course, that's a fight, if you were the mindset of Billy Joe Saunders, that you don't want to, be in. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's bullshit, but that's how it is in boxing. The politics, the excuses, the mindset of these fighters are totally different from 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, where those guys back in the day would fight anybody, as long as the money was right. You know what I'm saying? Here, sometimes the money wasn't right, they would fight each other. But Billy Joe Saunders is not cut from that cloth. He's a quality fighter, but we all know while that's a very good fight to make, I would favor Daniel Jacobs just because I think he's the more versatile of the two. Both can box, but he brings the extra, some in his toolbox with the power and the athletic ability that Billy Joe Saunders has yet to face as a pro. Maybe you can throw in old boy, the junior, what's his name, man, that's fighting George Groves. I'm trying to think of his name. Damn. I can't even think of his name right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. Got his fight, George Groves. He bounced. He lost to Billy Joe Saunders a close fight a few years ago. They do not like each other. Oh, yeah, Chris Eubank Jr. Maybe you can throw him in there on a level of athletic ability with Daniel Jacobs. But other than that, Jacobs would be his most complete, credible opponent he's ever fought as a professional, and that's giving him caused the pause on, you know what, I don't think I want to do this right away. So Frank Warren, as we all know, he's known to fucking steer his fighters away from, danger zones. Asked Terry Flanagan, who fucking vacated his WBO lightweight title to move up to 140, where he will be facing Maurice Hooker, a winnable fight for him. So, we'll see, man. We'll see how it plays out. But unless, Daniel Jacobs and his team make major concessions, you can expect Billy Joe Saunders to fight a Caleb Truex or a middleweight that's outside of the top 10 in his April return. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to Colossal Boxing Talk. Drop those comments in the comment section below, letting me know your thoughts on this whole situation between Billy Joe Saunders and Daniel Jacobs. Reminder, Colossal Boxing Talk is in association with Three Kings Boxing under the movement umbrella. So rock with us. We're going to keep giving you this great content. Until next time I'm out. Peace.